The video game industry has a sense of humor, and that's something that we often see with many blockbuster games that are released these days. But on occasion, developers will take their comedic efforts one step further, and rather than sharing the joke with the players, aim the joke at them. I'm talking trolling. Video game developers and publishers have been known to troll their audiences on multiple occasions, even back during the days of early home consoles. So today we're taking a look at some of those tongue-in-cheek efforts with our list of the top 10 times the video game industry trolled us. Also, happy April Fools! And at number 10, Ghosts and Goblins. Ghosts and Goblins has gone down in history as one of the most difficult video games. A run-and-gun platformer from 1985, you could only take 2 hits before going down, and there's no save option. So say you get to the end of the game, and you're facing the final boss. First off, you need to be using a specific weapon in order to beat the beast. But if you do manage to beat it, you then get a message that reads, "This room is an illusion and is a trap devised by Satan." You just love it when you fall into one of Satan's traps? Which then takes you back to the start of the game, where you must go through everything all over again to actually beat it. And then it reads, "Congratulations," not congratulations. "This story is happy end, thank you," with another encouraging message suggesting that you should play the whole damn thing again. Cruel. And at number 9, X-Men. A licensed game for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, this 1993 game was also notoriously difficult. During the 5th level, Mojo's Crunch, the only way to complete the puzzle was to do something that completely broke the 4th wall. You're asked to reset your computer, meaning you had to hit that reset button on your Genesis or Mega Drive, as in the console power button. Seems absurd, right? There was only one way to do it without shutting off the entire system and having to restart the entire game because there was no save option, and that was to lightly touch the button, which most people didn't do. And at number 8, Arkham Asylum. In a less stressful entry on our list, let's move on to the Batman Arkham games. During Arkham Asylum, while you're just getting into being Batman and doing your Batman thing, Batman starts coughing, and then all of a sudden your game abruptly stops into what appears to be a glitch. The intro from the start of the game begins to play. Panic ensues. And then this happens. The roles are reversed, with the Joker rolling Batman into Arkham rather than the other way around. This then spawns a whole terrifying sequence where the Joker kills you. The game reloads as if you have to try again, but then you end up crawling out of your own grave, realizing that you're under the power of Scarecrow's fear toxin. And at number 7, Arkham City. Arkham City was a superb game, and one of its most enduring qualities was its bonus content that allowed you to play as Catwoman. She had a whole story arc that intercut throughout the main plot, and in one instance, at the end of her episode 3, she has the option to save Batman or to abandon him, and get away with some quality loot. The decision is then put into the hands of the player. I most likely chose to save the Cape Crusader, but if you opted out for the riches, well, you'd be surprised by the result. The game cuts to the credits after Catwoman makes her exit, and then a distorted audio clip of Barbara Gordon plays, stating that everyone is dead, and she's calling out for help. Then all of a sudden it rewinds itself again, and forces you to save Batman. Jeez, talk about the illusion of free choice. The overall moral of the story? Don't be a dick, especially to Batman. And at 6, GTA 5. Grand Theft Auto is known for being satire gold, and sometimes that satire comes at the expense of the player. One side mission in particular, known as the Epsilon Program, is GTA 5's take on Scientology, and it was highly anticipated. So of course, when the end result of all of these missions culminated into a 5-mile run wearing the Epsilon robes in the desert, well, it kind of felt like the lead up was for nothing, minus a tractor that you end up getting, which was kind of the whole joke. That being said, it is GTA 5, so in the final leg of the mission, there is the option to betray your Kiflon brother, sister, father, mothers, or whatever, and steal all the cash you're sent to deliver, which is what will actually allow you to complete the mission. So there's that. Oh, GTA. And at number 5, Dragon Quest. In a similar vein to our last number, 1986 Dragon Quest, also known as Dragon Warrior in North America during that time, you are faced with the question of morality when you finally reach the game's end goal, to defeat a being known as the Dragon Lord. Upon encountering the Dragon Lord, he offers you the opportunity to rule half of the world alongside him, which doesn't seem like a terrible idea, except he's evil. If you say yes, the world turns black and red, and the Dragon Lord says, "This journey is over. Take now a long, long rest." And then he starts laughing at you. This causes the game itself to freeze, with your only option being to reset, meaning all of your efforts and everything you fought in the castle to get to that point of reaching the Dragon Lord was literally for nothing. To make matters worse, like older games on this list, it also suffered from the no save syndrome, with the exception of only being able to save whenever you returned to King Lorik, which was super inconvenient. In at number 4, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was an update to the 1995 Mortal Kombat 3, a game that upon its initial release was only available to play in arcades. Home ports for it wouldn't pop up until a bit later. This update included the likes of gameplay mechanics and characters, adding new and old ones into the mix that just weren't in Mortal Kombat 3. One character that was supposed to be included and was featured in the game's opening montage was a character named Rain. He wore a purple version of that same ninja outfit that we saw Scorpion and Sub-Zero wearing. Turns out developers Midway just popped him in there in order to trick arcade goers into thinking that there was actually a secret character. The funny thing is, there was actually secret characters in the game, but then Midway figured if they added a fake one and featured it in the montage, it would just convince players to keep spending quarters and keep playing in order to try to unlock Rain, meaning their machines would stay in arcades for longer. And at 3, Leisure Suit Larry. Leisure Suit Larry is one giant troll. Literally everything in the game is some sort of mind. First off, it's about a little man named Larry who continuously fails at trying to seduce women. Secondly, most of what you do results in a horrific ending for Larry. For example, if you cross the street at the wrong time, you'll get hit by a car and die. If you don't pay your cabbie the right amount of money, you get beat up. You flush a toilet, you drown. Shoplift, you get shot. Have sex with a prostitute, catch an STI. All in all, if you don't do the exact right thing, you end up paying for it, which was super annoying since when the game was first released it came out on several separate CD-ROMs, making going back to where you previously saved a major inconvenience. And at number 2, Street Fighter 2. When Street Fighter 2 came out, it was a huge hit, but there was one component to the game that baffled players. One of Ryu's lines in the game was, "You must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance." Players searched through the whole game in hopes of finding Shenlong, especially after magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly wrote about it, saying that Shenlong was the name of Ryu and Ken Sensei, and published a photo of a fight between Ryu and Shenlong. One problem though, that article was published on April Fool's Day, and it ended up taking a month for people to actually debunk it. Turns out the line ended up being a mistranslation, with the original dialogue line being, "If you cannot overcome by Dragon Punch, you cannot win." And finally, in at number 1, Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 2 starts off with you playing as Solid Snake, the protagonist of the series, on a mission that takes place on a boat. Suddenly the boat sinks, Snake falls into the water during the explosions, and we're given another mission 2 years later, with a masked protagonist that we assume is Snake. After a few minutes of gameplay, the man in the suit takes off his mask, and it's Raiden. It's revealed Snake died 2 years prior on the tanker, and Raiden is now the main protagonist of the game. This was a pretty big shock considering that none of the game's marketing, trailers, let alone actual game cover contained any sign of Raiden. It was solely Snake. This also included preview footage of the game that Konami had inserted Snake into as opposed to Raiden, proving that they were actively hiding the switch. It didn't go over too well with fans, and many people really didn't love Raiden's demeanor or appearance. Alright, there we have it friends. Which of these trolls did you enjoy the most? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, please show us some love by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. If you'd like to see more gaming videos, we have a ton on our channel, so definitely check out the playlist that's currently flashing on your screen right now. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Catch you all in the next one.